So this guy really hates the government. Now, the guy's name is Tim. And Tim, he's about 23 when this story starts, and he's living in Michigan. And as I said, Tim, he's the kind of guy who really loves guns, but he really hates the government. So one day in 1991, he gets out of the Army, and he becomes sort of the drifter and a regular on the gun show circuit, where he's traveling from state to state and from gun show to gun show. And there he sells military supplies and ammo and sometimes guns and stuff like that. But that's not the only thing he does there. He also rants and complains about the government to anyone who will listen. He passes out far-right extremist pamphlets and anti-government flyers. And he is die-hard about this. In fact, this is all he does. He doesn't have a regular job or anything like that. He sleeps in his car or on friends' couches, and he travels to gun shows and sell things and preaches this extremism to people. And about a year goes by, and then in 1992, something crazy happens. Some federal agents in Idaho get into a shootout with a guy, and they kill some members of the guy's family in the standoff. And this pisses Tim off, and he thinks the government was in the wrong. The next year, in 1993, the Fed seize a religious compound in Waco, Texas, and they get into a shootout with the people of the compound, and the place ends up burning down and a bunch of people unfortunately die. And this pisses Tim off even more. And he becomes convinced that both of these incidents prove that the government is willing to murder its own citizens, and he is not about to let this slide. So he decides to get revenge and blow up a federal building with a bunch of people in it, because he believes that once he does that, this will start a political revolution. That all of these concerned citizens will see how right he is and they'll join his cause. So in 1994, he gets to work on this plan and he starts building explosives. Now during this time, he's sort of staying on and off with his friend in Kansas, this guy Terry Nichols. And so Tim and Terry Nichols, they start experimenting with different types of explosives in remote fields and on back roads, blowing up buckets and barrels and just other types of containers. Then, that same year, the federal government pisses Tim off again because Congress passes a ban on certain types of assault weapons, and President Clinton signs it into law. And Tim loses his mind over this. He sees this as confirmation that the government is going to come and take his guns away, and he is not about to let that happen. And so this motivates him to move on to the next phase of his plan, choosing a target to bomb.